Gravetone.
Welcome to Gravetone Podcast, where horror comes to life in every form it takes. I'm Megan.
And I'm Arthur.
And it's time for us to create a baby horror pack, a little bit.
Yeah, horror pack for babies. I mean, look, it's a horror starter pack. Let's call it that way.
Yeah. It's, horror for people who don't love horror. So if that's you, or if you're trying to introduce it to, a friend, a family member, whatever the case may be, we decided to put together a little starter pack of horror media that we think is, kind of toes the line, so it's not getting into like the overly crazy kind of sides of things.
Yeah.
Because I find what happens a lot of the time is that when you talk to people who are like, I hate horror, I don't like it, I don't enjoy it, I don't like anything about it, most of the time what that comes from is people who have experienced horror that is either really gory or just jump scares, and they hate it and they never want to watch it again.
Yeah, and then it ruins the whole thing because the horror genre is so big and there's so many things that can happen there. There's, light horror and creepy, crazy horror. So, you just need to get into it. And that's why we're doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So I have the perfect example in my best friend, right? So she, up until, maybe 5-6 years ago, was one of those people who was like, I hate horror.
Yes.
I don't like anything about it. Didn't want to watch.
Too bloody, too scary.
Yeah,
stuff
too
like
bloody,
that.
too
Yeah.
scary. Didn't want to watch anything. Didn't want to get into anything, play any games, do anything, or read a book at all that has anything to do with horror. It was not her thing at all. And at one point, we were talking about things, and I kind of realized over the course of our conversation that what she was saying was that, well, I really don't like gore.
Right, yes.
And I don't like constant jump scares. I don't think things jumping out all the time and it freaking me out, which, to be fair, are two major staples of the horror genre.
Of course.
So obviously that's what you're going to see a lot. But I think for a lot of people who don't really consume that content, you kind of assume that's all there is to it.
Sure, okay,
And so
yeah.
when she said this to me, I was like, okay. But there's a lot of stuff that you can, especially watch particularly, I would say, that doesn't necessarily fall into that category. It's horror, it constitutes horror, but it's horror light,
Horror light.
Yeah,
The
it's
light
just,
experience of
it's not
horror.
super gruesome. It's not jump scares every 10-15 seconds, ghosts and demons and things jumping out from behind corners. It's not really just that. And so, funny enough, I started her on a few specific movies that I thought would be something that she would enjoy.
Yeah.
And she really liked them. And so now we're at a point where I can basically watch a trailer for a film, if not the movie itself, obviously. I can basically watch something, and when she asks, I will be able to give her a yes or no answer of whether or not she will like it. So I won't say that she's gotten super into it, but there are a ton of films that we've watched that she really likes.
Yeah, that's true. We watched the whole Fear Street with her, and it.
Yeah, we did. She loved it.
She loved it, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do kind of a quick, that's it. We'll kind of do a breakdown of everything. So we're going to do recommendations of movies, books, and games.
Yeah, video games.
Yeah, that we feel are really fun and a really good, option for people who are just starting to maybe either want to get or just getting into horror itself.
Yeah, or even people who have been turned off in the past by it and are like, okay, well, let me try again.
I'd like to re-explore it because people are telling me to watch this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I like it. Yeah, okay. So I guess we can start with movies because it feels like the biggest.
That makes sense.
Do you want to start with it?
Okay. So for movies, we are, or something, because so many things you can add to. I also suggest a bunch of movies, and Megan was like, no.
See, that's the problem too, is that we're a little desensitized to this, and I was like, that's an idea.
So I selected maybe too much of horror. Megan was like, okay.
You literally said Texas Chainsaw Massacre at one point, and I was like, what?
It was kind of a joke, but.
Was it though? Everybody likes a little Leatherface.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't watch that, have you even seen horror movies? Anyways, so we kind of settled on 3 movies.
Yeah.
With one that is kind of we were
An honorable
thinking of an honorable mention. We were like, it should be on the list, should not be on the list, but we also wanted to do 3 of each. So here we are. And the first one, I think most people would agree with this. It is a classic slasher. It is horror, but it's also fun. It's not too insane, stuff like that. Also has, I guess, a good twist at the end. It is Scream, the first one.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that this would not be on anybody's list if they were like, my brother doesn't like horror movies, but I want to introduce him to horror movies. You know, what do you think I should pick?
Exactly.
Everybody would just be like, oh, just watch Scream. I think actually in the case of my friend, that's what we did. It was one of the
That
first
is
ones
exactly
that we
what we
watched.
did,
Is
yes.
We watched Screams 1 through 3, I think, like basically in one sitting. And I think we were halfway through like the second one, and she was just like, "These movies are really good, guys." And we were like,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
they are. They're just, and you know, there's something about like the meta aspect of it.
Yes, it helps a lot. It's true because it
yeah.
kind of takes you out of it a little bit on purpose.
Exactly.
You know.
And so I think it settles the watcher, like the viewer, a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's just something about it, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So I think Scream is a great one. I mean,
Agreed.
it is on every list. It is very also rewatchable, I
So
find.
rewatchable.
There's so many things to it. Like you said, there's the meta part of it.
Yeah.
There is not that much gore. I mean, there's a little blood stuff, whatever.
But really not much.
Not
they,
much.
They really crank it up in the later sequels, but like the first one does
Exactly.
not
The
have a
first
ton.
ones, again, they're fun. There's like a bit of a mystery aspect to it. You know, there's great characters, very memorable characters that also come back in the sequels and stuff like that. There's just a good overarching story in general
Yeah.
in all of them.
Yeah.
That even continued as a through line into the later movies that are coming out now and stuff like that. So I think it's a very good, rounded, good horror movie to begin with, I would say.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven. You're the best. Without you, this movie franchise would not exist, and I don't know what horror would look like right now. Genuinely.
Yeah, seriously, because it's one of those that started a lot of
It
things.
revitalized
Yeah.
so much, like in the mid-90s, like post-80s slasher. It revitalized so much of the genre, so it's just interesting to
Yeah,
think.
another movies spun off of it in terms of
Correct.
the, not the genre of it, but how it's made, the meta aspect of
Yeah,
things. Like
definitely.
it's a precursor to a lot of stuff that is happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, our second pick is it's a Tim Burton pick, but not the one that you would expect, probably. Not the one that, although we vacillated about that before we put it on the list. So our second
We did,
pick.
it's true.
Yeah. So our second pick is Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those. It's just one of those movies that toes the line really well. Like Tim Burton stuff, yes, often is like a mix of like weird fantasy, horror, and comedy. Like there's a lot of that in pretty much everything that
I
he
agree.
makes. But and like so, you know, we went back and forth on like would we want Beetlejuice on the list? And it's
Yeah.
a super solid pick. To be fair, like if you want like the funny zany time, that's probably the way to go. But we settled on Sleepy Hollow because if you're going to like introduce someone to the idea of like atmospheric horror, like creepy,
Yes.
gothic,
That's it.
atmospheric, very dark, like tonally, but also visually dark as well. Like everything's black in this movie. It's kind of the perfect pick. It's creepy. And the way that Tim Burton does things is like the gore isn't so, it's like a little bit cartoonish almost.
Kinda, yes. Yeah.
You know, with the heads getting chopped off and stuff. Like it's a little
And the
bit
blood spraying
cartoony.
everywhere when he's, you know, like
Yeah, that's it.
comes out covered in gallons
It's
of blood.
got good performances. It's got great like dialogue, and it is almost in and of itself kind of making fun of itself to a degree as it goes.
Yeah.
But like a good storyline, and just like it's just like a cool film to watch. It's one of those that when fall hits, I'm always like, this is
Yeah,
the time
that's
I
it.
need to watch Sleepy Hollow.
It also has like funny bits to it.
Correct, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's again one of those well-rounded things. It has a great cast.
Oh yeah,
You know, again, very rewatchable.
yeah. Oh my God,
So-
yeah. It's an every year thing for us.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. That's it. It's always on the list of movies to watch at
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely one of them. I think definitely there. I mean, I was also thinking maybe Edward Scissorhands.
Kind of. But Edward
you know, but
Scissorhands
it's
feels
different.
like more of a Christmas movie to me.
Really? Why?
Yeah, the winter setting, and it takes place partially over the holidays, from what I remember. But
Oh.
anyway, yeah,
Okay.
it feels more Christmassy. It's like The Nightmare Before Christmas, right? It's like half a Halloween movie, half a Christmas movie.
That's true.
But I settle more on Christmas with it. I think just because of the storyline. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's why it's Sleepy Hollow. But
Exactly.
there you go, guys.
Haha.
And so the last one that we have is a little bit more recent.
Yes.
It is also in, I guess, a bit of a different category. We didn't want to go with like all slashers or stuff
No.
like that, you know, because yes, people might be thinking like, oh my God, how come you're not mentioning Halloween, you know, and stuff like that. Like again, I feel like it's
Those are
part of the.
definitely, but those are also always solid choices. Like they're good choices
course,
for
yes.
people. But there is something to be said for like, showcasing different subgenres to people if you're trying to get them to like
Exactly, yeah.
start
So
watching.
it's a subgenre thing. So we
Yeah.
wanted to go a little bit, different subgenre, get out of the whole slasher thing, and then the gothic Tim Burton stuff,
Correct.
style, whatever it
Yep.
is. So we went with Get Out.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Nicole Byer here with some hot takes from Wayfair. A cozy corduroy sectional from Wayfair? Yeah, that's a hot take. Go on and add it to your cart and take it. A pink glam nightstand from Wayfair? Scalding hot take. Take it before I do. A mid-century modern cabinet from Wayfair that doubles as a wine bar? Do I have to say it? It's a hot take. Get it at wayfair.com and enjoy that free shipping too.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Right, so it's a little bit more recent. Not too crazy, not too gory.
No.
It has good, interesting psychological
Thriller aspects to it, yeah, for
horror
sure.
aspects to it. It also has kind of, a message behind
Well,
it.
it's got-
There's
it's got a
political
lot of-
undertone in a sense.
Yeah, it's got a lot of very sort of timely political commentary
Yes.
to be made with regards to like racial relations and things like that that are obviously still valid.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I won't say it's the first film to ever touch on aspects of that, like in the horror genre.
No,
That's
but
not true.
it
but
really
it's-
had the
it-
pulse on it,
and to make it like really bring it to the forefront at the right time.
Yes.
I think it's just if you somehow like are listening to this and you haven't seen it, stop the episode and go watch it. It's just an incredibly made film. There's a reason that Jordan Peele's managed to become one of the only horror directors to get to the Oscars. Like that's not a thing
It's true.
that happens particularly frequently. So
Yeah.
when we can get it, we really appreciate it. And, he's followed it up with great films as well. But this is there's just something about this movie that is,
Like it's creepy, it's unsettling.
It's
There's
so
some
unsettling.
really strange things that you're watching and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, what the
Like
hell is going
when-
on? I don't want to be in this situation.
yeah, like when you're watching the film and you're watching the lead character and you yourself want to yell the title of the film at him,
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
be like,
that's it.
get out, leave, go before this gets worse, that movie's well made.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you feel for the character and
Yeah.
everything, and there's just crazy things that are happening all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great one. Great one to start with for sure.
agreed. Are we going to honorable mention it up now or should we wait till the end?
Do it.
We can do it now? Okay. So the only other one that, again, I feel like keeping it in like the fun kind of vein to an extent is sort of an easy thing to do when you're introducing people to horror, and then they can kind of like graduate to some stuff that's maybe a little bit darker.
You've graduated to horror level 2.
But you know what I mean, like
I
a
know,
little
I
bit
know, I know.
darker in tone and stuff, right? And so the pick that we had that we went kind of back and forth about was Ready or Not. Again,
Yes.
a more recent one, but Ready or Not as well is one that succeeds so well in both like both the characters, but also like the execution of the plot itself is so good.
It's like a little bit of an adventure movie. There's a little bit of
Yeah.
an action stuff in
Yeah,
there.
that's
You
it.
know,
There's like a mix of things. It basically stars.
but it
who
never
is-
deviates.
No, agreed. And
Yeah.
it stars Samara Weaving, who I basically consider as becoming like a modern day scream queen.
Oh,
at this
yeah,
point.
for sure,
She's
100%.
basically already up there. Who's incredible, and the entire cast is wonderful in the film. Everybody does a good job. Everybody pulls their weight.
Yeah.
And also, just if you want like an attractive stylistic film to watch, this is a great choice for that. It was filmed at Casaloma in Toronto.
Yeah.
And it shows because the the insides were built on sets and stuff, but the outdoors and everything were all at Casaloma, and it's this beautiful sort of like almost castle that exists in the middle of Toronto. If you ever go, you can go on like tours and stuff.
Yeah, you can do very expensive weddings there if you want.
Oh yeah, tens of thousands of dollars. But it's a beautiful property, and the sort of old money looking ornateness that it lends to like the style of the film makes everything look really cool.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
also just like a fun film to watch
Yeah.
in general.
Has a great ending as well. Again, there's funny bits to it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
again, well-rounded, right?
Very
I
much.
feel like that's kind of the common theme.
Rewatchable as well.
Very
See, it's
rewatchable.
always the rewatchability of it too comes into play when you're like, well, is this person going to want to see this movie again at some point?
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those that I feel like when you watch it, because it's so much fun and there's so many things going on and everything, it's not one of those that you kind of forget.
No.
You know, like you would remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, so that's 3 with an honorable mention. Let's move on to, do you want to do books or games first?
I don't mind. Either one's fine.
All right, so let's do books then. So kind of tangibly related to the movie thing, because, you know, there's a lot of adaptations that happen from books and or a lot of...
And books are a tricky one because you can pause a movie if you're scared, and like I get that you can
Yeah.
put down the book, but with the book too, like you're not going to look away from the page and be like, maybe the scene will be over when I come back. Like
You have to
you're
get through it.
reading it, and this
Yeah.
is also a funny thing that I've had with my best friend when she's read more recently a few horror books. One of them is on this list, and she has like this very funny way where I can't even describe it because we're on a podcast, but she like holds the book far away from her
What?
face. And like, and
Does
it's
that-
like, oh, maybe if it's farther away, it won't scare me
It
as
makes
much.
it less scary.
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't
That's
think it actually works,
hilarious.
but that is her coping mechanism.
Does
when she
anyone do that? Let us know if you guys do that. You like look away from the book or look at it sideways and read it
So
from the
good.
corner of your eye.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
I know.
I mean, look, if it works, it works,
Listen.
right? Anyways, so for books, you know, since you know a lot of movies are adapted from books, inspired from books,
Yeah.
tangibly taking storylines and then make it into a whole different movie. I think it's a kind of a good way to get into it. So one of our first books. So obviously, if you go into horror books, what is the first author you think of?
Stephen King.
Exactly.
What
He-
a surprise.
I mean, yeah, look, he's everywhere. We just been to, you know, a bookstore recently in the horror section, and like half of it is Stephen King.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, you know, he's everywhere. He is timeless, and he keeps writing, which is amazing.
Yeah.
With his books, though, it is hard to choose. So we're kind of debating
Yeah.
between, should we do like a standalone? Should we do a collection of short stories or something like that? Because, like, you know, short stories gives you a lot of variety, some
Yeah.
scary, some not scary, etc.
Yeah.
We kind of went with something that is short enough, is very known.
Yes.
It is a standalone book that is, you know, that inspired so many things, and movies made about it, TV shows made about it, etc., remakes, sequels, etc., which is The Shining, right? Like, I feel like when you say Stephen King, people are like, oh, The Shining, you know, like that's
Oh,
kind of what they
100%,
know from it. You know, there's also It and stuff like that.
But yeah, because there are just so many. Like we were like, do we do The Shining? Do we do Salem's Lot?
Yeah.
We even could have. God, there are so many. We even could have done like Misery. Like you know, like these are the types of stories.
Carrie would have been also
Carrie's
a great
also
one.
very short as well.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, we wanted something that was like we were thinking of something like not too long and like yes, it's horror. It's going to be scary, but not viscerally scary, like in the traditional sense that you get with like some types of stories where you're reading them and you're like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable right now. Like I need to put the book down and walk out of the room, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
But something that really draws you in. And I remember when I read The Shining, I was like very drawn into the story.
Same.
I thought it was fascinating
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I read it.
Just when I started reading Stephen King at a young age, and then I read it in school.
Oh,
I had to
yeah.
write essays about it. There's
Yeah.
like a lot, like it is taught in schools. You
Oh,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
stuff is. I actually had a really cool class, which was Stephen King and the exploration of the horror landscape.
Oh, right,
Oh
yeah.
my God, I love that class.
Yeah,
It
I
was
know.
so great.
It's like your favorite.
It was my favorite, seriously. We read so many books. Literally, I think in the first couple of days, the teacher was like, okay, so we're going to read at least 7 books this semester. So if you're not up for it, please get up and leave. And like 15 people just got up and left. 'Cause
Listen,
it's not for everyone.
Lit classes are not for everybody.
Yeah, that's it. So,
So yeah, I don't know. So we wanted something that like could appeal to a multitude of people. And
Yes.
I feel like The Shining is something because it also explores a lot of real life themes
true.
to do with like trauma and addiction and the fears that we have around the things that we do to the people that we love, like all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of Stephen King's style, right? Like I read his memoirs, and he always said that the best way to not necessarily appeal to a mass audience, but to connect with the readers as much as possible, it's to put a normal person in a abnormal situation or a supernatural
Yeah.
situation as opposed to the other way around. Because again, that kind of roots in and segments you in this reality that like this is just a normal person that crazy things are happening to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it works really well. I think most of his stories are like that. So,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Okay, choice number 2. Choice number 2 was my choice. Because I feel like if you're going to start reading horror, it's good to have an element of comedy to your stories. And in my opinion, especially more modern horror, who better to do that than Grady Hendrix? I don't think that I'm sure people would argue with me, but I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a better option if you're looking for like horror with a lot of darkly comedic elements
Right.
to it. His books make me laugh out loud. Like, they're very funny. The characters are incredibly well written, and I don't know, like I have yet to find one that I actually like actively dislike.
Right.
You
yeah.
know, I've got more favorites versus least favorites, but I love his stuff. And so the pick for his books, which was a little bit hard too, I was trying to decide which one, is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires,
Right.
which was published, I think, in 2020, probably.
I think
if
so,
I'm
something like
mistaken,
that, yeah.
2020. It's just, I think it still kind of sits at the top of my list of his books, probably because it is a mix of so many things. It's set in the early 90s, which is like a time that I actually understand.
Right. Yes.
And follows a group of housewives who start a book club. And keep in mind that at a time like this, true crime was considered like an interest in true crime, I should say, would have been considered like salacious and kind of like tacky. Like people wouldn't have thought that it was like a thing. Like now, like the number of podcasts, documentaries,
there's TV
everything,
shows now,
everything,
everything.
everything that exists. It's a massive thing, but that did not used to be the case. And so this group of wives are bored and decide to start a book club, and they're gonna, originally start reading like bestsellers, like those types of things, but then kind of realize that they hate them. And so they start reading like a ton of really popular, like what now we know is basically classic, like true crime books, like
Right.
Helter Skelter and The Stranger Beside Me, and like a bunch of those. And they go through time while also realizing that the new neighbor that's moved in nearby is real weird. And there might be something wrong with him. And so, as the title would like to suggest, there's like a vampire infestation,
Yes,
essentially,
yes, yes,
that
yes.
takes over. And also, this is set in the South, eh? So you've also got the sort of people trying to maintain decorum under certain circumstances a lot of the time, like the Southern hospitality type of thing, under circumstances that are quite extraordinary. But all the women are just, they're so funny. They all have all these like different problems, but they're all so funny with one another and dealing with the circumstances that they find themselves in. And it's just like, it's an incredible book. I loved the entire thing.
From start to finish.
Oh, I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole way
Aren't they
through.
making like a movie or a TV show about it?
I think
remember?
HBO, if I'm not mistaken, is making
Right.
a TV show.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
pumped for
cool.
that. Yeah, I really hope that's going to be good. So,
Yeah, I remember we spoke with actually Grady Hendrix on our other podcast.
yeah.
Plug.
Plug for Fully
Fully booked literary podcast. If you want to check it out, it's all about books. But yeah, anyway, so we had an interview with him, and that was
Yeah.
before the whole, I guess he got
Yes.
bigger, and
It
the
was
TV
before,
shows were made and everything.
It was before, because like now we've had My Best Friend's Exorcism was made into a film
Right.
with Amazon Prime, and that's it. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires has been picked up and everything. So like he's working on a lot more
Yeah.
now. His stuff has really like exploded, but yeah, it's true. It was not quite when he'd gotten to that point. So
Yeah, that's it. So it was really cool to talk to
Yeah.
him. He's very chill guy, very down to earth, very much also like, fun and upbeat type of
so
thing.
fun.
Yeah, super easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And then, so our other choice is Something Wicked This Way Comes.
By Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
You might want to talk about it because I did not read this.
Okay. So again, kind of selected it because it's not an incredibly, it's like, I think it's under 300 pages. It's not an incredibly long story. It's a little more middle grade YA kind of, which in my opinion, again, if you're not used to reading horror, starting with like the stuff for teenagers is not a bad
Yeah, that
thing,
makes sense.
because they tend to be a lot less visceral in terms of their horror.
Right.
You're not like shoving someone into like the type of story that you're like, oh God, oh, this is really graphic. And it's, it's essentially, it's about like two young boys who get caught up in things going on with this like basically spooky ooky carnival that's coming to town like a circus,
Okay,
pretty much.
cool.
And they have to, I don't even know how to describe it. They have to like I think you can like make a wish basically, but it costs you like very much and stuff anyway. There's like, like there are sort of lessons tied in the way that YA stuff
Oh,
often
sure,
has,
yes, yes,
right?
yes.
About like a whole be careful what you wish for thing. But it's a classic. Grady Hendrix. Ray Bradbury is obviously a celebrated author for a reason. He has a ton of great stories, but this is just one that I don't know. I guess the story itself is great. The atmosphere is great. His prose, the way that he writes, is really great.
How come it
also-
stuck with you, this one?
I don't know. It's just I think it's the circus aspect of it, like
Okay.
the carnival kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's like that plot line itself. I think stayed with me, and like that's it. Like kids having to like battle things like resilience, things like that, always
Yeah.
work really well in these types of like coming of age stories. It's also got a kind of campy but really fun film version that you can find, like an adaptation of
Huh.
it too.
What is
yeah,
it?
yeah, through Disney or something. Yeah.
What do you know what it's called? Same thing?
It's also comes
Oh,
called
okay.
something. But yeah, it's called Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's from 80s or 90s. It's
Oh,
from
wow.
a while ago.
All right. Cool.
That a lot of people really love. I think I've seen it once, but I cannot remember very much about it. So
All right.
yeah.
Cool. All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. But also another thing.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention, something again we debated about putting it on or
Yeah.
not. I'm thinking of ending things.
Yes, by an author named Ian Reid.
Yes.
So a lot of people will know him for this story, definitely, because it's quite popular, as well as I believe another story of his called Foe, which I have not read, but I have heard of. Full transparency, I'm not a big fan of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I wasn't a huge fan when I read it. The narrative style was just not for me. So that was why I just didn't love it.
Sure. But we're not biased,
But
so it
yes,
made the
that's
list.
it. But you know what? I could also see when we were talking about and putting this list together, I could also see why it would maybe be a good choice for someone who, because maybe if you read mysteries and thrillers, this is heavy psychological thriller. Like it very much toes that line, and it kind of crosses into straight up horror just because it does get like pretty dark. But you could still kind of. You could kind of flip-flop it, I guess, between those two genres. But it's very heavy, dark psychological thriller type thing. I wouldn't want to say more than that in case people haven't read it because genuinely,
I mean, look.
it will give away a lot. All I will say is that it follows a woman who is on her way with her boyfriend to meet his family for the first time while also debating ending the relationship with him. And things
That's a
kind
weird
of,
mix, but okay.
yes, and things kind of devolve from there, and that's all I'll say. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay. All right. Shall we do games then? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's the last
games.
thing.
So much
Okay.
fun. I mean,
This is
that-
what you're
that's my
excited about.
domain. As you noticed, Megan was talking about books all the time. I'm going to be talking about games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're doing video games. I mean, look, those are a little bit hard to pick, I find, just because.
We just had a really interesting conversation when we were trying to pick them as well.
Yes, we did. There's a lot of them that I think are classic and people need to play them, but also maybe they're a little bit too much horror, so that's maybe not a good way to introduce someone to it.
Yeah, I love that you were like, "This is so good, but it's really fucked up." And
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean,
okay,
like,
so
you know
not
what?
great.
Like, I wanted to put Outlast on it, but no, it's
No,
just
my God,
insane.
no.
That's it. It's one of those things that it's like, not this one.
I vetoed Until Dawn. Now I know it could be maybe good, but
We
it's
played
also
Until Dawn. It was
but it's also
great.
genuinely scary.
Yeah,
like
that's
it
it.
is.
Yeah, there's too
Yeah.
many scary moments.
Yeah.
Anyways, the good thing is that Megan doesn't really play that much video games. So she was kind of like a good gauge of the things that, we played together, that I showed her and whatever it is. And I was like, okay, this
true.
like it, not like it, too much. Okay, good to know. So the first one is, that one's just like pure classic. You have to play it. It's just one of those that was maybe one of the first bigger video games in that sense, and it is Doom. Maybe not the original Doom, the 2D version, although still great. I remember playing this, it was amazing. I just dated myself as well. But even if you play maybe not the new remakes, because those are a little bit intense, but something in between, or even the original one, whatever. Doom is great, right? So it's a shooter. A lot of video games in general, I find, are a little bit shooter, at least the mainstream ones, right? It has a good story, it has aliens, it has the horror aspect to it. The gameplay is great. If
Yeah.
you're talking about the original one, it's very simple. It's just point and shoot, right? And there's items and everything. It's just it's a great one. You know what I mean? It's original. I feel like it was basically on every computer back in the days. Same thing as Aladdin was. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's one of those that like you have to play it. It's something that kicked off a lot of stuff as well. So
I mean, I will say too, with something like that, that's a shooter game. What's good is that because there are so many like action style video games that are shooters and stuff like that, it probably is a good idea to include one on the list because it's something that's going to feel maybe familiar to people who are like not used to playing horror games.
yeah, it's
So,
true. I mean, if you have someone who's like playing video games in general and they want to
Yeah.
get into horror, again, reminder that this is, we're
Exactly.
talking about intro to horror.
Yeah.
This would be a good one because they're probably, playing, video games that are shooters most likely, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
So that's it. Interestingly enough, this game was, or at least the first episode of it, back in '93 when it was released, it was released as a shareware model, which was basically distributed as shareware. So it's just something for free, and you just, you share it with people, essentially, which was a weird and bold, I guess, marketing move, So, I mean, that was very interesting. The game itself was also like very small in terms of size. I don't know, maybe I'm like just geeking out here, but so another, I guess, I don't know, it's a fun fact or whatever it is, but I think it is pretty crazy if you just think about how big they are now, right? So like I just recently got the new Assassin's Creed. It was like 120 gigs.
Oh, wow.
I had to make space on my hard drives for it
Wow.
because that's huge for a new game that is literally of this year. 1993, okay, how much do you think that game took space? Doom. Think
Is
about
it
those
120 gigs this year?
well, the newest game
For
that
the
I got
latest
was
season.
120 gigabytes,
Okay.
right? Also think 1993, probably floppy disks. CDs, not much.
I don't know, like 2 gigs. I have no
2
idea.
gigs?
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, no. That would be like, I don't think computers had 2 gigs of space. Like, no.
I don't know how memory works on computers.
You don't know how memory works just in general?
On computers
On
specifically.
computers
shut up.
specifically? Okay. So it is actually like thousands of times less than that.
Okay.
So the original file was about 2.4 megabytes.
Oh,
Depending on the platform, was between 4 to 5 megabytes,
wow.
which is, nothing. It's
No.
literally nothing.
No.
It's insane how nothing this was. And that's why it was so easy to, shareware and whatever it is. You put it in a floppy drive, stick it in, and it boots and it works.
Right.
It was great. Nothing to install. Anyways, whatever.
You're just reminiscing now.
Yeah, I kind of am. I remember floppy disks. That was a thing. Anyways, game number 2 that we recently tried, even though it's not that much of a recent game, but it is, I guess, a little bit more newer
Okay.
compared to Doom, at least it is. It's one of those that is not, I wouldn't say necessarily pure straight up horror, but it is one of those that has horror elements to it.
Yeah.
We played it. It's pretty cool. We actually need to fully finish it. I think we're like so close to it. Anyways,
we probably
whatever.
are, right? But
Yeah.
it's like a spooky, ooky mystery. And I
Yeah,
like
that's it. There's like mystery to it. It's kind of weird and creepy. The things that are going on,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
It is Oxenfree.
Yeah.
It is actually available on basically every platform. I think they even have a phone version because I remember trying to
Really?
get it as a phone
oh,
version.
You know what? It looks like something that
Of
would
course.
work on your phone, eh?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the
It's
style
not too
of
crazy.
It.
That's
No.
it. So, I mean, that was really fun. Basically, you start off as a group of teenagers that are going to a town or I guess an island,
Yeah.
right? I think they were visiting their friend or they used to live there. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, I think they're all from there.
That's it. They're all
originally.
from there, and they just go there to kind of like just catch up and have a little party on the beach and stuff like that. And then things start happening, and they end up going through some weird cave, and there's like lights, and then end up on the other side, and they have to go explore the park.
Yeah.
But then there's also like weird, like time things and like
Yeah.
teleportation, and they get lost, and they have to get together. But it's nothing crazy in a sense of like it's not super scary. There's no real jump
No.
scares. It is
No.
just weird things are happening, and you have to figure out what the hell is going
It's
on.
more like the horror aspect comes from maybe like the atmosphere and the
Exactly.
uncertainty that the characters deal
Yes.
with, as opposed to like, here is like a monster and here is a
Yeah.
big jump scare for you and stuff, which games do a lot where they're like, "Baba." I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
but like
"Baba"
when
is
things
the
jump
right
out-
description. Yeah,
Shut
you're
up.
right.
When things jump out at you. But this one doesn't really have any of that. So this could be really good if you just want something like like a fun mystery puzzle that you have to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's it. And it's very easy to play too. There's nothing crazy, not like
No.
a bunch of controls and inventory, whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
It is
you're gonna die
basically-
if you miss like this one thing.
Yeah, that's it. There's no like timed puzzles or something like that. I mean, it is kind of like, I guess, a puzzle a little bit,
It
but
is,
it's
yeah.
basically like a point and click type
Yeah,
of thing. You know,
yeah.
you walk around, you interact with people,
Yeah.
you learn clues, etc., whatever, right? So it's again very easy to get into, very fun,
Yeah.
definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Especially that it's mostly for maybe it's like $3-4 at this point. I mean, just get it.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, and then another one, again, something that basically was on the phone, and then again, it's available on all the platforms because it's super easy and everything. It is Limbo.
I don't know what this is.
So that one's a really cool game because it is, again, one of those like atmospheric horror games.
'Kay.
It's basically, it's very tonal in terms of the color palette. So there's like maybe 3-4 colors because it's all, you know, black, gray, and some white and whatever
Okay,
it is.
like black, white, grayscale kind of thing.
Yeah, basically, exactly. And then, like, essentially, it is a puzzle platformer. So, you know, you kind of trying to solve puzzles, again, by clicking stuff or moving things around, whatever the character you control and things. But the horror aspect of it is, again, the atmosphere, but it is also stuff that is happening in the background. Or, you know, there's like kind of like a giant spider that is chasing you, but it's low stakes. Like, you know, if it gets you, whatever, it's not like a big splash screen of death. Bam. No, you just kind of restart the
You just
level.
respawn. and
That's it,
it's
exactly. And it's nothing too crazy. Again, super easy to control, you know. It's just a really fun one. Easy to play on the phone, easy to play on whatever it is. It has a interesting story, you know. And again, the stuff that's happening in that game, the horror aspect of it is a little bit behind in the back scene, in the background.
Okay,
you know?
yeah. Okay, and then we had one honorable mention, right, for games.
Oh, I mean, look, honorable mention. I just put it on the list because I feel like if you
This was one. This
this
one
was
that
me
I,
like slipping it
this
into it,
was
and
me
Megan won't know what it
vetoing off-
is.
No, this was me vetoing it off like the list because of your reaction to it, where you're like, "This is a great game," and then you stopped and you were like, "It's really fucked up." though." Like, okay, probably not the best recommendation to give.
Hey, it's stuck in my mind, and it just needs to be on it. I don't know if it is a video game to start with. Definitely something to.
Maybe once you've done all three of these.
Once you've done a few of them, yeah, exactly. You can do that. And I was kind of debating on between the two. Maybe I'll mention both of them. But the first one, and people will probably crucify me if this is the quote-unquote starting game, but it's Fear.
Okay.
Very cool game, totally replayable, very much psychological horror. It is technically a shooter also, kinda. I mean, like there's a shooting aspect to it and whatever.
Okay.
But it's very much one of those, like, you are a Marine or whatever it is, like an army man that goes in with
army
your
man.
team into this facility where they're testing things, right? They're doing experiments on whatever it is, and one of those experiments is done on this little child, I guess, and it's very much like psychological because she's kind of like a ghost, but also not really because she can just come and squish someone into a tiny piece.
Oh my God, no
It's-
wonder we couldn't include this on
it's
the
so
list. Why
good.
would you even make this
It's
a
so
suggestion?
good. It is absolutely amazing. It is great. Okay, fine. If it's not that one, but then Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh, Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
That just feels like one
That's very much Doom adjacent, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, especially because of the oldness of it. Like the-
Sure.
you know, back when it was like originally released and it was just like this funny little pixelated.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
like-
I mean, I'm thinking also Return to Castle Wolfenstein. That one's a little bit more intense and
Sure.
you know, redone and remastered and stuff, different story and things, but that one, I guess, is a little bit more Doom adjacent. Anyways, I guess that was more of a plug for Fear. Just play it, it's so good.
It's just you saying it to anybody who's listening.
I mean, look, there's so many others, but they don't make the starter pack list. You know, I could say Dead Space,
Yeah.
but that's just insane.
Well, you said it while we were talking, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
know.
that's a terrible idea.
We also saw the
You said
animated
Dead
series of it,
Space.
and it's like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no. You said Dead Space, you said Until Dawn, and I was like, please stop.
was so
Please stop with your suggestions.
That would be my starter pack.
Yeah, I know, but that's because you actually like this stuff. It's very different if you don't, you know, or if you're like unsure
That's
of how to
true.
get into it. Probably
That's
not
fair.
the best idea to start with the flesh-eating Wendigo. It's a bad idea. Anyway, yeah, so those were kind of our I guess, general like recommendations and stuff. I'm sure everybody has their own opinion. So
course.
like, if you yourself are maybe looking to get started with like some horror stuff and you've just like never really touched on it before, hopefully some of this can at least inspire you in some capacity. Or if you are like me and have a best friend who's a big fraidy cat about everything and want to find a way to include them in the things that you love. I know it's really hard, and believe me, in casual conversation, I almost never find anyone who likes horror the way
Yeah.
that I do, so I get it. You know, hopefully maybe some of this could be like a good way of helping to introduce them to the genre without it overwhelming them and having them, you know, making it so that they never want to speak to you again.
Exactly. That is not the goal.
No. Anyway, we'll be back at you, next week with another episode. But in the meantime, obviously, feel free to follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, search for Gravetone Pod, and you will find us there. But until next week, guys, stay scared and stay tuned.
Ciao, guys.